This video is for those who have been keeping up with my 2ZZ build and or Celica GTS swap that I'm doing. Gonna be honest, the 2ZZ needs a rebuild. This is my shiny 2ZZ that is currently sitting on an engine stand. When building this engine, I made like 3 or 4 mistakes that I willingly and I knowfully made these mistakes. I shouldn't have made these mistakes since it's not the most expensive mistakes I've ever made, but I knew what I was doing at the time and I really should have just did the right thing, honestly. From the very first step, which I also showed in the video, I broke 2 of the sets of oil control rings for cylinders 2 and 3. I had NPR piston rings, which are the OEM manufacturer for piston rings for some Toyota, well, not some, like nearly all Toyota vehicles and a lot of other Japanese manufacturers, quote me if I'm wrong. But the oil control rings for those on the 2ZZ had this little outer part that is separate from the actual oil part itself, which broke. I broke it. I put the cylinder, I was trying to push it in too much, well, not too much, stupidly I guess, with a hammer, and I broke it and I had to reuse the 2 old oil control rings. The second mistake was not checking the flatness of the cylinder head or the engine block, however you want to call it, the deck of the block. Yeah. When tearing apart the car straight from the junkyard, I saw that the thermostat housing had a broken stud which I had to replace, and the water pump gasket, the outer one, was actually not destroyed. It seemed like it was a newer gasket compared to every other gasket on the car. And something I didn't notice at the time is whenever I first took off the cylinder head, there was a spot of oil surrounding, or like around cylinder 1, and I didn't notice it at the time, but when looking back at my own footage, I might have had a blown head gasket, and there was, I don't know if I showed it in the video, but there was a little bit of like milky oil, milky coolant. I think the engine might have overheated at some point, and I did not check for the flatness of any of the parts. The third mistake I made was the timing chain tensioner. So that car did have a tiny amount of oil sludge in the cylinder head, like in the, where there was these weird hex holes that I'm guessing blocked off coolant going into certain parts of the cylinder head. Just small collection spots that had a very small amount of sludge, but still some to begin with, which also clogged up the oil, not the ring lands exactly, but the oil control rings. I had to drill out all of the oil return holes in the ring lands. It was alright to do that, but that engine did probably burn oil from lack of oil changes, and I'm guessing that oil clog also got into the timing chain tensioner itself. The plunger did work. That's the only thing I did to check the plunger, but whenever, in this clip, whenever you see crankshaft pulley counterclockwise until we hear the clicks. Let's try to get a good listen to that. I'm not hearing anything. I rotated the engine back, or counterclockwise, a few degrees for the plunger, and it didn't work, and then I said, hey, it happened off camera. Right when I turned off the camera, I heard the plunger make a plunger noise, so right now, my guess is the timing chain tensioner is a little bit clogged up with some oil debris. The fourth thing, which I actually did not notice, it was pointed out by this commenteer, for the lift solenoid, that little OCV filter I think it's called, I put it in backwards. I thought it only went in one way, but apparently it can go in both ways, and I put it in backwards. I could run the engine, and theoretically, since I did actually lap the valves, the main thing that I saw with this engine was the valve sealing was not good on cylinders 1 and 2, 3 and 4 at the beginning, which actually I think I have the clip somewhere here, once again. Cylinders 1 and cylinders 2 didn't have good valve seals, so I did lap the valves, and I did also replace the stem seals. So I'm sure if I were to fire up the engine right now, it would run. I just don't know how long it would run for. Why would I make all these mistakes when building the engine? Gosh, I have no idea why I made those mistakes to begin with. But I do know that I want to fix it. At the time, my mentality was, if I failed building this motor, then I'll just import a motor, and then that's between $1,600 and $2,000 just to get an engine from a different state and in my area, which I would have to uninstall an engine and then reinstall it, which would also probably include ARP flywheel bolts. The point being, it was going to be way too expensive to have one of them fail and just for another one to come in, and why wouldn't I just import an engine from the beginning? It would have been way cheaper. I want this to be my build. So let's go over some parts here. First off, new head gasket. I'll put that on the side. Actually, let me show you part numbers while I'm going through. Head gasket. Piston set, which I actually have the pistons on here because I was getting a thumbnail shot. piston ring set, OEM from Toyota. ARP head studs. Timing cover gasket for the water pump. The actual water pump gasket itself. What is this thing again? The oil strainer. I don't think I could show the part. I'll put the part number right here because I cannot show this without showing my dealer info or some info that I don't want seen. I don't know. ARP rod bolts. And then, the actual timing cover itself. So, MWR Monkey Wrench Racing sells the piston ring set for $209. My dealership during all of January had a 25% off discount along with some dealer discounts I got in the end. So I got all of those gaskets and the piston rings for $220. Bought these from Monkey Wrench Racing for about $115. And you'd think if I bought the rod bolts from Monkey Wrench Racing, I might as well buy the head studs from Monkey Wrench Racing, but I actually bought these from eBay Jegs. I hadn't heard of them, but I hear they're good in some areas. They're another online manufacturer. I bought the head studs from them through their eBay store. 10 of the 12.12mm nuts, the hardened washers, 10 of these glorious head studs, and then assembly instructions. Let me get them out. So, as for the budget for all this, between the end-ish of October to end-ish of January, I was saving my money to, well, not end-ish of January, because I actually got that transmission, I forgot when. I saved up my own money, a lot of money, for importing a transmission, a little over $1,000. That was strictly for a transmission. And then I saw that one at the junkyard, which I'm cleaning that one off. I made a video on finding it. So I the budget from the transmission that I already got, I'm sure it's alright, a good transmission, put into this, and not my most expensive mistake, not my stupidest mistake, but I would rather get this done the first time than spend a lot more money getting a new motor to begin with. And yes, for you keyboard warriors, I know I should have just done this entire build correctly the first time, and that is obviously my bunch of mistakes here, but also not the worst mistake I've ever made. I've definitely done a lot of more stupid stuff, so I'm not too ashamed of this. Also, this is probably the last time I'll ever diss Toyota's OEM quality. Look at these oil control rings, if you can see them. The spring-ish ring has a coating on it, like a black coating. I don't know that, I doubt that's paint, but these rings, whenever I open the box and actually build the engine, I don't know if I'm going to make another 3-hour-long video of me assembling the engine, or if I want to turn this one into a time-lapse, because that would also get my editing skills up more. But I'll show these rings whenever I make that video. These are really nice rings. I don't think I'll ever diss Toyota OEM quality ever again. Oh my goodness, these are just like a kid in a candy store right now. And my last thought, if I'm going this far to make sure it's right, why don't I take apart the entire block and take the crank out and do those? The reason I'm not going to take apart I'm going to call it's not splitting the crank, but splitting the block to access the crank, or as I'm going to just say, splitting the crank. The reason I'm not doing that is because the main bearings spin nicely, and I don't think this motor had any loss of oil pressure. I just think it had neglected ownership. So I think the crankshaft is fine. The mains spin fine on their own, so I'm not going to touch them. I'm going to leave them the way they are. Just going away from the 2ZZ a little bit, let's talk about the transmission. I got that transmission for like $456.85, I think. Exactly how much I had. I paid them to pull it because it was on the exact opposite side of the yard, so I think like $150 plus the pull fee plus the warranty. And that transmission's fine. I needed to get this thing here, which is the little pivot ball. This thing goes by like 15 different names, I don't know. It was like $15 for this from the dealership. Then I needed to get this boot right here. Squishy freaking boot for the clutch fork. Yet, at the same time, whenever I went back to the Celica, I think I had to grab something else, I forget what. I found that exact boot on the floor that they just took out for some reason. So, I spent $15 on this, just to find this one sitting right next to it. The same dang thing, by the way. I mean, I'm going to put the new one on my transmission, but this one, my 5-speed actually doesn't have the boot, so I'm just going to transfer this over to the 5-speed whenever I sell it. Also, let's see. I was hinting a lot of this stuff. I wouldn't call it hinting, but I was just posting a lot of this stuff on my Instagram and a little bit on YouTube posts. But that clutch fork, I have no idea how the heck it broke like that. Maybe there's a bad synchro in there. I don't know. All the gears spin correctly in there. But I did get a new clutch fork, which was a lot cheaper with that 25% off discount with a lot of stuff. So the engine is getting rebuilt again. The transmission just needs some exterior cleaning, and yeah, I'm also working on that. It takes some time though. Some time with my schedule at the very least. I did get a lot of progress on that before recording this video. This is just a little update video on where I'm at with my build. I think this is as good a time as ever to point this out. I am just a person. I'm not a shop. I'm not a YouTuber. This is me as my own person wanting to build this engine and combine it with the transmission and put it in the car for me to drive for probably the rest of my life. This car is never leaving me. This car has been through some stuff and it's staying. My personal goal right now is to get the engine rebuilt, get the transmission all cleaned up. That won't be too hard. But I want to try to get this engine and transmission installed in my car by, I want to hope for end of March. Realistically, going into the summer of this year, I am missing a location, a little bit of time off, and honestly, an engine hoist. I do not own an engine hoist, and that stuff is expensive. I created my channel to not only make tutorials for how to do things with this car that a lot of people do or don't know how to do already. I wanted people to show people my point of view of repairing this car, which I love to do, by the way, and also document everything I do, because I do go back to my previous footage a lot to see what I have and have not done, and which also how I saw the partial head gasket. Maybe I hope the car was never overheated, because that would save me a lot of time and money. But mainly just helping all the people I've helped. I can't exactly say I've helped like over 100+ people, but there are some people here and there who have said, "Hey, thank you for showing me this. Thank you for helping me out here." And I'm glad to help wherever I can. One of the reasons I started my channel. I don't expect this channel to ever be like 1 million+ subscribers. If it does, that'd be nice, but I just want to show how to do things that other people need help with. I enjoy doing that. I do not plan for this channel to be full-time, or at least a full-time job for me. It'd be a cool future to have, but I do have my career path in mind, which is going to be separate from this channel, which is also why even if this channel does become a second source of income, which would be a really cool thing, it would still be a hobby for me. It is not a good idea to... This economy is weird. I'm not going to get into that. Other than the 2CC being rebuilt, transmission being cleaned up, what I hope to do in the near or far future, what I plan to do, hopefully by tomorrow after recording this video, I bought a smoke test machine from eBay, which did not come with the required mineral oil, so I had to go buy some Publix mineral oil to get it working, to get started. $50, 55-ish I think, shipped, plus this $5, so $60 to be able to have the tool and smoke test my own car, and I want to upload a video of showing people how to smoke test, either to find vacuum leaks or evap leaks, which I hope my car is vacuum leak. Anyways, I have a misfire. My car, cylinder 1 misfire, brand new Denso spark plugs, all the ignition coils work perfectly fine. I actually got some fuel injectors from an 08 Pontiac Vibe with the 1ZZ. I cleaned those ones out. I didn't like professionally clean them out, but I did put some fuel injector cleaner in the gas tank. As far as I'm aware, everything should be fine. My only guess for the misfire is either the engine's freaking dying for some reason, or the intake manifold gasket. I did replace it with that Velcro one, and it's fine. As far as I'm aware, it might be leaking. Those are my only two guesses, is dead engine or dead gasket. And it's an interesting misfire. I just have no leads as to what's following it. So hopefully this thing will help me out with that. So I'd say the only two things that have been stopping me from recording any of these videos and barely even getting to some of my projects is my own schedule, and the weather here in Florida has been a little weird. I can't entirely blame that. It's been like, I know 20 to 30, it's Florida. I know everywhere else it's like -50 degrees, and yes, it's cold up there, it's colder up there in the north than it is down here in the south. I get that. I'm just a little bit of a wimp when it comes to the cold. Also with some neighborhood interruptions. My neighbors are just doing stuff outside, and I don't want that audio interfering with me recording, and I don't want me recording interfering with them doing their work, which is perfectly reasonable. I can always reschedule. But I'm also not here to push blame. The second thing, I got this little mic, and I replaced the air filter in my car. I got rid of the K&N one and put in an OEM Toyota air filter. Actually, here it is. I was hoping the air filter would have been the reason for my misfire, but it wasn't. So here's the old K&N one that I think is still somewhat clean. It was like $10 cheaper to buy an OEM one than it was to buy the cleaning kit for this. Let me just flip it over. That way you don't see the personal stuff on there. Anyways, I recorded that video with the air filter using this microphone, and I did not do the audio properly on this mic. I had it way too close to my head, and it didn't sound good, so I just didn't even upload that video. I might have made a post about it on Instagram, can't remember. So I will try to use this microphone. I do want to up the quality of the videos a little bit, even though this channel is just a hobby. But yeah, $20 for this mic, and it's alright. I just have to get the kinks sorted out with it, and then better audio quality. Anyways, that's what's happening with me. 2ZZ rebuild coming up. Transmission being cleaned up. I have all the parts, just need to put it all together correctly. Brakes, I do want to get the brakes done. And then in this box, I actually have the brake fluid, the brake calipers, the brake pads, and rotors for the GTS brakes. I want to try to get them done before the end of February. Don't know how plausible that is. My main concern with that is bleeding the entire brake system. I only have 2 jack stands, so I can't put the entire car up, so I would have to put the front calipers on, bleed them, and then bleed the rears, and then bleed the fronts. It would take a little more time than I would want, but that's the only thing stopping me from that. Smoke tests, I'll try to do tomorrow after filming this video, and everything's just going to take some time. For those of you who are even updated with my build, thank you for continuing. I am no longer intending on rushing this build. I don't need it to be rushed at all. I don't know why I was in such a rush last year. I had nothing specific being planned that needed a rush, which is why I rushed the engine, but I want to do this right the first time and have it work properly. Sorry for the yap video. I just wanted to update anyone who is watching on the status on all the parts I have and what's going to happen when. The one's easy and 5-speed, they're fine. I just need existence. I don't know. Life's weird, but this is how I'm deciding to do it. Slow and steady wins the race.